Good morning, one and all. I'm audible? Yeah. First of all, it's a pleasure to be sharing this global stage for TEDxKLSGIT. And the topic for my talk today is the alchemy of entrepreneurship. I'm a mechanical engineer by education, but a metallurgist by profession. At the same time, I'm a first-generation entrepreneur. So this is just a natural extension of what I do and my journey as an entrepreneur. The topic today, as I said, the alchemy. We know the alchemy is an unnatural transformation of something ordinary into something invaluable. I wish to elaborate on the life cycle of an entrepreneur, the genesis, the growth, and finally the graduation. Life is a journey, it's not a guided tour. Having deeply inspired by the life and work of Swami Vivekananda, I looked upon education as a realization of perfection that already exists in a man. Let me take you through this unconventional of constant evolution and rejuvenation, where most important realization is not about creating an enterprise, but creation of one's own destiny. I have come to believe that entrepreneurs are neither born nor made. They belong to an orbit of their own creation. The slide that we see behind is the first thing that most of the young education or the engineers out here would find just at a click and a little bit help from Google Guru. I don't want to guide through these realms of known and familiar. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I don't want to speak about the obvious that you see out here. These boilerplate attributes is not something that sum up as an entrepreneur. I would rather not touch this. Like I said before, let me take you through the lessons learned by me in my journey as an entrepreneur. Why are entrepreneurs unique? Right now, we heard Santoshi say, it is not about learning. It is about learning to unlearn things in life. That is what makes the entrepreneur. It is not about what I know. It is about exploring the unknown. We have to unlearn the things, because if we hold on to it, that is what holds on or pushes us back in our life. Ultimately, to be an entrepreneur, it is about me. It is about the freedom to define one's own identity. Freedom from time, freedom from taking decisions, freedom from money, freedom to dreams to think big. It is about discovering one's core competence and core values and layering it up for ultimate success. It is about the ecology of me. It is not about different things. Rather, it is about doing things differently. It is about breaking the shackles. Breaking the shackles, the social shackles, the family, the peer groups. That is what makes an entrepreneur. You have to master the experiential learning on the way. That is what makes the entrepreneur. The entrepreneurial journey starts with discovering of me. That is more important. The transition from me to you happens when you put yourself in the ecology of stakeholders that are around you. This generates the next level of opportunity in your journey. The you about harnessing the conducive ecology that already exists and which is ready to help you out. The disposition matters to do small things, small behavioral changes, small bankable behaviors, small beliefs. This is what makes the ecology thinks about you and supporting you. Your disposition creates a subconscious impact on the stakeholders in the ecology. Your disposition helps in gravitating the ecology towards you. Your disposition leads to creation of shared destiny relationships in a long term. You end up creating a constellation of shareholders. Encouraged by association with these newer relations and their rationale, the forces of growth and positivism crystallizes. This is what I call as the ecology crystallization around an entrepreneur. As the horizon expands, good things start happening for you. Your infinite potential intersects with the opportunities around the stakeholders, and that's what leads you to a larger success. The entrepreneur thus emerges as a force multiplier, and that thus begins the growth journey of an entrepreneur. Now that ecology is with you, you need to seek opportunities for growth with the lens that is a little bit different. Your view needs to expand from thinking locally to globally. By locally to globally, I don't mean that you have to look outside for a business, but you need to expand the way you look at it. You need to expand the canvas of your outlook, basically. An ability to see this compelling future is what I'm talking about. Develop a capacity to estimate the intangible and the invisible. Ignoring the opportunity simply because you can only measure it. Downside, well, to be avoided, because some people have a behavioral pattern of what we call as a transactional behavior. If you are very transactional in your approach, that is one downside which you should always avoid. Interaction and outreach need to be cosmic, more cosmic in nature rather than transactional, as I said. The canvas before you needs to be very large. From appearing to be trying too hard to approaching an opportunity very effortlessly is what an entrepreneur should try. Remember, I spoke about the unlearning. Unlearning is very important. Opportunity needs to be assessed differently at each step of this journey. Mathematics changes, as does the understanding of the risk. How an entrepreneur evaluates and assesses an opportunity for growth decides his eventual altitude. Social outreach determines and differentiates him from the other entrepreneurs. Social outreach for an entrepreneur is very, very important. The day he thinks of becoming an entrepreneur, he usually focuses on the social things that he's doing around. But as he achieves a little bit level of success, it should become one of the important part or activities of his growth. Again, like I said before, you have to understand the innovation, the inspiration, the intelligence is not about doing different things, but doing things differently. Having assessed the opportunities for growth, a plateau of self-congratulations awaits and needs to be conquered. How do one do that? What are the typical signs I have seen? Satisfactorily underperforming, unproductive business, I can do everything kind of an attitude. Everyone around me makes me think. This is where the peer dynamics plays a very important role. The peers around you keep on congratulating you, saying that you have achieved so much in life. You don't need to do anything else. You need to be very, very careful with this kind of an attitude. My friend, you are destined to experience a classic truism called as a failure of success. In an environment where disruption is normal, the conventional definition of success is beginning of the downslide. Your enterprise and you are one at the beginning of the journey. But at some point, the enterprise starts becoming immortal, and you start becoming only the idea behind it. The entrepreneur's entry into comfort zone could seriously affect an enterprise's mortality. It is for the entrepreneur to realize that the summit is the next stepping stone for another peak. As Swami Vivekananda says, truth is far from being comfortable. If you are in a terrain of truth, be known that an entrepreneur, you are looking at a facade and not facts. Success is a result of entering the uncharted territory and seeking new challenges and ability to start fresh. The entrepreneur needs to realize that the comfort zone is not the zenith, but a ground zero. The fundamental principle of to begin in this journey is that they don't need to get used to the guided tour. The next peak to be arrived is only possible with a reboot. Higher orbits or the orbits, reboots require the entrepreneur to think beyond the immediate and the visible horizons. The entrepreneur should reconfigure his personal ecology and seek a peer group which is more challenging and which is very honest with him at the next level. The entrepreneur should seek to invest his and his enterprise into new things. The entrepreneur should further acquire new ways of assessing the risk and the opportunities relative to be accomplished. You will notice that rebooting is a recurring theme in a journey of an entrepreneur. He should need to reboot at a constant time. Since you have rebooted your enterprise a number of times and grown it to employ hundreds, like I said before, enterprise is immortal, but an individual is just an idea behind it. But entrepreneur, being an unreasonable person, could begin to rationalize on reality, thus be unable to dream. Rationalization is an attempt to identify excuses and seek solace. It is the basis for inaction. Break away from your thoughts and actions who carried you on your journey. Seek new grounds, new challenges, and new you. Because entrepreneurs usually tend to look at how they came over here. We see so many entrepreneurs speak that I started off from a very small time, and that he is not ready to accept the reality. He is not ready to accept the new zero, what I call it as a ground zero. He should start from there. Seek to leave a legacy. Legends and leaders belong to the people and place which is beyond generation. The world is not built on people and material. It is built on legacy. Legacies of competence, courage, trust, responsibility, and selflessness. The seeds of regeneration of enterprise are laid by successful entrepreneurs by taking actions and trusting the people who work with them during these active years to see the company live on by seizing opportunities and propelling the enterprise towards a new era, a new league, which I called as Enterprise 2.0. As I said earlier, enterprise is immortal. Hence, successful entrepreneurs give birth to a new enterprise called as Enterprise 2.0, or the next level of their entrepreneurial journey. Successful entrepreneurs dream, trust, and build teams to explore and exploit opportunities even after they are no more. There are so many who do not arrive at this accommodation with their personal mortality. On one hand, they have bought a life insurance because they believe that they are not mortals. They are not going to be immortal. They believe that they are mortal. So they have bought the life insurance, but they don't think about the similar grounds when it comes to their own enterprise. They could act as if they know everything and they will not let the next generation take over the affairs of this particular enterprise. Beyond your competence and compatibility, how do you plan for continuity of enterprise? Your dream to be entrepreneur was the basic desire for being an entrepreneur was freedom, as I stated earlier. You shall recognize it as a fundamental need for the business and its successors. Stepping aside, and perhaps the most crucial and often the most important decision to re-energize the enterprise is the most important thing. You should learn to step aside. The time to exit is inevitable and requires deliberate attempt in trusting the next generation of leadership and their abilities. Letting go is the analog of unleashing the opportunistic forces in this new brave world. Let your guide be freedom for self and as well for others in your organization. In the essence, what makes an entrepreneur? The genesis of idea, the drive to be independent, the urge to be creative, desire to master one's destiny and the possibilities of unmeasurable millions. Beyond all this, entrepreneur is a seeker of truth and excellence. From recognizing the inner drive to belonging to a positive ecology, initiating the growth for self and others, he reaches a plateau only to leave behind a legacy and a system that shall confer freedom to all within it. It is not an expedition, my friend, or a conquest, but one of a self-discovery in the transient nature of life. Thus, my idea about the alchemy of entrepreneurship is about a journey of an individual, which is me, to accepting the ecology, which is how they look at me, that is you, seeking an altitude, which is the growth, realization of truth, which is the discomfort level, to be discomfortable in comfort level, and preparing for the regeneration and eventually planning for dispensability. Finally, I would like to put across a quote out here where Swami Vivekananda says, "Comfort is no test of truth. On the contrary, the truth is far from being comfortable." Thank you, my friends. Thank you for giving this award.